If you're keeping up, we had kind of given Newberry a chance because they had exams on that Saturday the 8th. So we moved the game to Sunday, and then they wanted to play on this particular Monday. They played Carson Newman on Saturday and wanted to stay in East Tennessee before they went home. And then they wanted to play the games earlier so they'd get back. So we allowed that here at Tusculum. Let's hope it doesn't come back and bite us. Pioneers have lost 2 straight. Newberry has lost 3 straight, but 2 of the top teams by way of the voting to start the year in the South Atlantic Conference. Here's your starting 5 for the Newberry Wolves. It'll be Kelsey McDermott, a 5'10 junior out of Australia. Shelby Britton, a 5'4 senior out of Australia. Taylor Campbell, the 5'3 freshman out of Lawrence, South Carolina. Meg Essex, the 6'3 senior and National Player of the Year this season during the week, out of Australia. And Regan McCarty, the 6'1 senior out of Brisbane, Australia. 4 of the 5 Australians in that starting 5 for interim head coach Joanne Tincher in her first year, her 5th overall, assisted by Cole Birchfield at 11-4 on the year, 5-3 in the league. They started 8-0. They've dropped 3 straight in 4 of their last 7. For the Tusculum Pioneers in that starting 5, it will be Jayla Arnwine, the 5'6 sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Yolise McCupidon, the 5'8 senior from Ocoee, Florida. Callie Patterson, the 5'7 senior from Greensboro, North Carolina. And Kendrea Duke, the 6' senior out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. With Mia Long, the nation's steal leader, the 5'4 junior out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. For Pioneer head coach Devin Carter in his 4th season with the Pioneers, assisted by Lady Comfort, Danielle Catron, and Jordan Sanders here today. Our officials, Brad McMillan, Tracy Drake, and Timothy Ward for this Monday 2 o'clock start here today at Pioneer Arena. It will be the 48th meeting all time between these two schools. Tusculum here at home leads the series 13 games to 8. Interestingly enough, at Newberry leads the series 13-8. And in neutral sites, Tusculum has the 1-game advantage, 3-2, which is the difference in this series. Tusculum winning 24, Newberry winning 23. But Newberry comes in here winners of 7 of the last 8 against the Pioneers. Tusculum did win at home here last year, 72-65. They'll be accustomed with each other in the next 2 weeks because they'll play second Saturday in February. The opening tip will be won by Meg Essex. We're glad you could be with us. Brian stayed in for Justin Jeffers today as the Pioneers wear the home white. Newberry in the road scarlet. Move it right to left or from Joyce to Midge on your radio dial. Shelby Britton handling the pressure. Will give it up to Meg Essex, who will fire from 17 feet. This one won't be good. Will just graze off the front of the rim, go out of bounds, and it will be Pioneer basketball as Mia Long, who just watched it go out of play, will have the inbound. Moving left to right, Midge to Joyce here on your radio dial. Mia Long will take it across the line. First offensive possession for the Pioneers, just 30 seconds into the contest. Long at the top of the key, right side Cupidon. She'll fire a three-pointer. This one is off the side of the mark, no good. Rebound taken by Meg Essex, and rebounding at a premium. Tusculum has been out-rebounded 6 of their last 8 games. And today, a really good rebounding team, a +8 in the rebound margin, are the Newberry Wolves. And a traveling violation on the freshman underneath, Taylor Campbell, as she got free underneath for a moment, but Kendrea Duke and Yolise McCupidon closed her off in a hurry. So Pioneers have the basketball back. No score here in this opening quarter. 1 minute gone as Long brings it across the stripe. Cupidon from the top of the key, back to the bucket, gives it up to Patterson, who bounces it inside the paint to Duke, driving on Essex, and Essex gets the rejection. Loose ball picked up by McDermott, and Newberry's Campbell will bring it into the front court. Here comes the pressure by the Pioneers. The double team on the freshman, but out to the top of the key is McCarty. McCarty from the foul line will throw it back out to Britton. Britton goes inside to Essex, can't handle the pass, and lost it out of play. And a turnover against Newberry, back-to-back possessions. So still no score. Tusculum with the basketball. Two missed shots, and one of them blocked. Cupidon will inbound to Mia Long. Across the stripe will be Long. Again, the nation's steal leader coming in at 4.6 steals per game. Her challenge today will be Shelby Britton, who handles it well, but the freshman has been handling for Newberry here early. Here's Jayla Arnwine, a three. This one's good. Jayla Arnwine knocks in a three. The Pioneers lead 3-0. 8:10 to play in this opening quarter. And then a whistle on the inbound to go against Mia Long. That's a tough one. Those are the same things that happened on Saturday, just unfortunate fouls, just putting hands on with the ball not even in play. So the Pioneers with one, but they come with this press. In the backcourt, long pass into the front court. The ball knocked away by Mia Long, knocking it away from Campbell. So McDermott will come and inbound left side front court for Newberry in front of the Pioneer bench. Down 3-0 on the Jayla Arnwine three-pointer. This inbound stolen by Mia Long, trying to race to the other end against Campbell. Will be at the line to shoot two as she draws the foul against Campbell. And the Pioneers, once again, who have forced a bunch of turnovers this year. The opposition has been forced into, on average, 24.6 a game. They only came up with 13 against Wingate on Saturday, but then again they had to relent from that press. So Long will be at the free throw line. Her first is up off the mark, no good for the 56% free throw shooter. Long, who has put up 13 double-figure games this year through the first 15 of the season, knocks in the second. Over the last 5 has been averaging 15 points and 6 steals per game. McDermott, long pass into the front court to Britton. Beats Arnwine. Bounce pass to Essex from the baseline. Off the glass, banks it in. 4-2. They beat the press that time and did so very effectively. Long into the front court for the Pioneers. And Tusculum will give up some layups during the press, which they plan on using the entire game today. Patterson on the left wing on the dribble. Into the paint. Fakes the pass. Drives. Puts it up off the glass. It rims out, no good. Rebound taken by Newberry. Into the front court, the pass. Arnwine tips it away, and tips it away from Britton out of play. Into the contest for Newberry will come a couple of new faces. Courtney Lyons will check in, along with Keyshawn White. White out of Loganville, Georgia, and Lyons out of Australia, the 6'1 senior. Essex on the left wing for the Wolves. Right side pass, McDermott. McDermott will go baseline, got around Patterson, but Duke comes to help and gets a block and a late whistle. Tough foul going against Kendrea Duke. May have got her with the body, but definitely got all of the ball, but got there late with the body. At the foul line will be McDermott, team's fourth leading scorer from the free throw line this year, 74%. McDermott at 6.2 per contest. First free throw is good, and the second ties the game. Tied at 4 as we approach 3 minutes gone here in this opening quarter. Long with instruction from Coach Carter across the stripe on the right wing at the three-point line. Here's Cupidon at the top of the key. Arnwine, who has the team's only field goal, left side to Patterson. Patterson wants a screen. This will be Duke, top of the key to Arnwine with 10 to shoot. She'll put it on the floor, drive into the paint, put it up off the rim, no good. But they whistle and a foul that's going to go against Newberry. It'll go against White. Arnwine, who had a hard time staying on the floor on Saturday against Wingate just because of foul trouble, exactly what we were talking about, just putting hands on the defender, and lots of times when the ball wasn't even around her. Will go to the free throw line for the sophomore, who's averaging 7 points a game this season and has been averaging 8 points a game in her 9 starts this year. Her first free throw is good, and the second for the 77% free throw shooter, also good. And the Pioneers have hit 3 of 4 at the free throw line, lead the game 6-4. Into the front court, here's Newberry. Trying to get it to Essex, and Mia Long gets back to knock it away from her. You've got to be quick, fast, and efficient, and Lyons waited and hesitated just a second before getting that pass off to Essex, who would have had an easy layup, but Long in the speed was able to get back. On the inbound, Duke defending Essex, but Essex with a tough catch in traffic. Here's Britton backing her way off from the left block. We'll throw it back out top of the key to McDermott. McDermott and Arnwine deflecting the pass away. And with 10 seconds to shoot, Newberry will inbound left side front court. White to inbound for Newberry in front of Mia Long. Essex on the left wing. Britton. Step back three-pointers on the way. This one rims off. It's no good. Mia Long comes up with the rebound, has a 3-on-2 break. Arnwine setting up in the corner for a three. This one no good, but Cupidon sealing for the rebound and getting a second chance for the Pioneers. Tusculum leading 6-4. 6:05 on the clock. They throw inside the paint to Duke, spinning, shooting, and got the roll. 8-4, Tusculum. Kendrea Duke with her first two. Pioneers with the press. Newberry's done a good job against it. Into the front court, this will be Lyons. It creates a 3-on-2 for Britton. She'll back it out. Lyons will hold it, fake a three, put it on the floor, drive left side. Now Essex top of the key. Backdoor look for Britton. Just throws it out of bounds. Britton was double-teamed, and she couldn't fight through that double team to get the backdoor cut. Good defensive possession that time for the Pioneers. It's almost as if they had to play red. Essex will get a breather, and Brandy Hall, the junior out of Greenville, South Carolina, will check into the game for Newberry. 5:35 to play. Smart coaching move here. The media timeout coming up here in the next minute or so, giving Essex a chance at a break. Right side front court, Cupidon. Top of the key is Long. Here's Duke. Cupidon, top of the key. Arnwine reversing into the paint. This will be Duke spinning on a double team. Missed it short, and the rebound comes down to the substitute, Brandy Hall. 8-4 Tusculum. Britton into the front court under some pressure. Arnwine, good defense. Britton driving baseline. Extra pass onto the baseline will go to Lyons for three. It's no good. Mia Long with the rebound for Tusculum. Here come the Pioneers sprinting into the front court. Long going right to the rim, high off the glass. It's no good. The rebound comes down to Hall. Britton has it and will lob it ahead into the front court to Regan McCarty. McCarty, watched by Cupidon. Spinning once, getting a push-off into the paint. Gives it back. This will be White, defended by Arnwine. 4:40 on the clock. Tusculum leads 8-4 in the first quarter. White gets a screen, drives, blocked by Duke. He gets the rejection, and then Hall knocking Duke to the floor, and the Pioneers will have the basketball when we come back after this break. 4:31 to play in the opening quarter. Tusculum 8, Newberry 4. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
On November 20th, 2018, the
Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers.
Neither team shooting it very well to start the game. Tusculum leads it 8-4, but just 2 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Newberry's just 1 for 6 to start, and 0 for 2 from downtown. That's not going to stay that way. These teams shoot the ball well. Tusculum shoots over 40% here at home. Newberry shoots 42% on the year. Rebounds even at 5 as well. The only second chance that you'll lose in the Cupidon offensive rebound. Tusculum yet to make a substitution in the game. All 5 starters have played the entire duration where Newberry's gone to the bench. Pioneer basketball out of the timeout. They lob it to Duke. Back out. This will be Mia Long. Left wing three by the Southpaw is good. And when you need her to make a three, she's usually really good. She's just picked her spots this year and is having a career season from three. 46%. She's a career 27% free throw shooter. And now Shelby Britton has turned the ball over for Newberry on a traveling violation amid the pressure by the Pioneers. So Tusculum will have the basketball back and inbound underneath their own bucket, leading the game by the largest number of the game, 11-4. The records of both of these teams. Cupidon, Patterson on the inbound left side. On the dribble into the paint, kicks it out to Cupidon. Arnwine defended by Britton. Here's Duke. Duke, Patterson on the left wing. Off a screen and off the dribble, a jumper that's no good. The rebound is loose. It's on the floor. Bodies are down on the floor, Patterson being one of them. And the jump ball arrow will favor the Pioneers. Tusculum just some want-to getting on the floor after the basketball. So the Pioneers will have the ball back. Patterson, a bit of a struggle to start. Has had a couple of decent looks at it, but has yet to attempt a three. Just 0 for 2, but missed one in close, and that one an open jumper off a screen. Top of the key, this will be Duke. We'll hand it off to Patterson, a three. Bang. There you go, on cue. Callie Patterson gives Tusculum a 10-point lead. 3:16 to play here in this opening quarter. On the inbound, this will be Courtney Lyons. Lyons had the ball knocked away, gathers it back, gets it to Britton, who sprints it into the front court with Mia Long draped all over. Left side pass in the front court to McCarty. Now top of the key, Lyons to the right side, Campbell. Into the paint, Brandy Hall, defended by Duke. Straightaway three ball on the way. The back iron's no good by Newberry's Courtney Lyons. Rebounded by the Pioneers' Patterson. She'll give it up to Mia Long in the front court for Tusculum, who will slow it down and get into the half court. Patterson, Cupidon to Arnwine on the right wing. Good take into the paint. Extra pass. Patterson left wing three. This one no good. Long with the rebound. Attacks Hall. Will kick it out to Arnwine, who will fake a three. Reverse it to Mia Long. She'll try another three from the left wing. This one is short off the mark and no good. And the rebound tipped out of bounds off Tusculum. So a couple of looks at it right there for the Pioneers, who are now 4 of 13 from the field. But a Newberry team that's just 1 for 7 to start. And a whistle to stop play for an injured player. Game 2 of our doubleheader today here for this Monday affair. Same two teams in men's action. The Pioneer men have won 4 consecutive coming into today. The longest winning streaks here over the last 5 years as well for this Pioneer team. And doing so with a 3-game homestand they defended. And then on the road, winning for the first time at Wingate Saturday since 2011. So Essex back on the floor. The Pioneers lead it by 10, 14-4. McCarty, McDermott, right side is Britton. Starting 5 back on the floor for Newberry, and they lob it down low to Essex, who scores on a double team. 14-6, Tusculum. Mia Long across the stripe for the Pioneers. From the left wing, penetrates in the paint, puts it up off the glass, and banks it in. That's a great take and a little hesitation dribble, and it's 16-6 Tusculum. Britton on the dribble in the backcourt. Dribbles and then throws it back. So this is a good way, an effective way to beat this press. It's like they dribble into pressure. There's always somebody trailing the play. It's almost like ice hockey. The defender's kind of trailing the play all the time. And they just give it back. Like on a power play, if you watch any hockey, on the power play, you've got guys that'll skate up to that blue line, then they'll pass it back to the defender with a head of steam. And that's kind of what Newberry's doing in this basketball game to beat the Pioneer pressure. So they've been well scouted. 1:40 to play in the quarter. Tusculum leads 16-6. Newberry with the basketball after Patterson had knocked it out of play. Essex will try a three and drains it. Meg Essex from downtown is just 2 of 8 from 3 this year. Her third make on her 9th attempt. It's 16-9. Tusculum. Across the stripe, this will be Mia Long. Long on the right wing. Gets a Duke screen. Will go out to Locklear, who's on the floor. The first sub of the game for the Pioneers. Duke with the turnaround in the paint. That one's no good. And the rebound by Essex. McDermott will throw it to Britton into the front court. Britton, crossover dribble, into the lane, jumps into Duke. She travels into Duke. She kind of did a little pump fake, and Duke came over, sealed off the near left block. And then Britton just tried to jump into her and travel. So another turnover against Newberry as we go under a minute to play in the first quarter. Mia Long across the stripe. Newberry will not pressure. Wingate, who is not known as a full-court press team, pressed Newberry the entire game and just beat them by 21. As Patterson will get the pass, but then reaching will be a Kelsey McDermott. She'll pick up her first foul. Be the team's fourth of this first quarter. And so Jazz Williams will check into the game to give Duke a breather. Pioneers inbounds, left side front court, 41 seconds to play here in this opening quarter. Mia Long with it between the rings on the dribble. To the right side. Here's Williams. Locklear. Patterson. Williams, shoved from the spot, turns and faces Essex and misfires from 15 feet. Rebounded by Newberry. And here comes Campbell, the freshman, into the front court. Gives it up into the hands of McCarty. Essex. Williams defending her at the three-point line. Now Essex will square up from 15 feet and score. Meg Essex is hitting 51% of her shots. Has scored the last 5, had make that the last 7. At the buzzer, the shot that would not have counted, as that is the end of the first quarter. One time, a 10-point lead. The Pioneers will go to the second quarter, leading by 5. At the end of one, it's Tusculum 16 and Newberry 11. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Jason was an ordinary man with an insatiable appetite until he got a call that changed everything.
Applebee's all-you-can-eat is back with shrimp.
This January, get ready to order. Starring riblets, tenders, and introducing shrimp.
For Newberry and hit the last 3 shots for Newberry. They'd started the game 1 for 7. They are now 4 of 9 from the field, 44%. Tusculum 5 of 16, 31%. Tusculum leading 16-11. Newberry with the ball to start this second quarter. 6 points for Mia Long to lead the way for Tusculum. 9 for Meg Essex to lead all scores. And a whistle inside. Williams trying to keep Essex from the spot. And a foul will go on at Jazz Williams. Jazz will pick up her first. Team's first here of this second quarter. Tusculum picking up, is it their first foul? Here's a steal. Arnwine with the steal for the Pioneers. Across the stripe into the front court, Mia Long. Long from the left wing will drive to the baseline. Back out Williams to Arnwine. Arnwine off the dribble to the right side. Cupidon to Locklear, and an illegal screen on Cupidon, just couldn't get out of the way. So I said, is it their first foul? No, Mia Long picked up one very early in the contest. And Cupidon is going to pick up her first. Second on the team. So Newberry with the basketball back after the Pioneers' first turnover of the game, an illegal screen. Newberry turned it over 7 times in that first quarter. McCarty left open for a 3. This one off the side of the rim. It's no good. Rebounded by Arnwine. Gets it to Locklear after it was tipped by McCarty. And now Locklear hands it off to Mia Long. Long across the stripe on the left wing for the Pioneers to Williams, who will fire for 3. Rims off, no good. Rebound by McCarty of Newberry. So the Pioneers struggling to make shots. Shelby Britton into the front court. On the baseline, this will be Essex in the paint. Her jumper is good from point-blank range. 16-13, and Essex now with 11 points, and she has 9 straight for Newberry. Right side front court, Mia Long. Penetrates, kicks it out to Arnwine, to Williams. Cupidon on the left wing. Cupidon on the dribble, defended by McCarty. Gets it out to Arnwine with 10 to shoot. She'll drive inside on McCarty. Off the glass is good. Jayla Arnwine ends a long drought for the Pioneers. It had been a 7-0 run by Newberry. 18-13, Tusculum by 5. Britton into the front court. They throw over the top of the press. Left side, extra pass in the corner. 3 ball is off the mark, no good. Williams with the rebound. Into the front court, Mia Long. Up ahead to Cupidon. Right side, Arnwine will fake a 3 again. Go back out top of the key to Long. She'll fake a 3 herself. Spin on the dribble. Put it up with the right hand and bank it in. Holy cow. Tough shot by Mia Long. Highlight reel finish. 20-13. Tusculum by 7. Long pass into the front court. Stolen by Cupidon this time. That's a good adjustment to that press by the Pioneers. Right side front court is Long. Tusculum. Can they surge and put together something back-to-back? Cupidon. Bang! 3 ball by Yolisma. It's a 10-point game again for the Pioneers. Again, the press, same concept. Dribble to the midcourt stripe, and then an over and back, and the Pioneers force yet another turnover on Newberry into double-digit turnovers for the Wolves. Campbell and Keyshawn White are in. Patterson and Kendrea Duke will return for the Pioneers. Pioneers with a 10-point lead surging after the Newberry Wolves had cut it to 3 at 16-13. Newberry had gone on a 7-0 run. Here's Tusculum with a 7-0 spurt themselves, and then Campbell reaching as Mia Long was driving to the rim. Actually, who is that? That is Taylor Campbell. It'll be her second, and number 1 here in the second period. So Mia Long back to the free throw line, leads Division II at 4.6 steals a game, 5th best among all divisions. And over the last 5, mentioned it, 15 points, 6 steals per game. And Mia Long with her 7th point. Her second is also good. Needs 1 more point to have 500 for her career. At Tusculum, that is. She's 90 points away from 1,000 for her collegiate career. Top of the key, Newberry into the front court. They trail by their largest number of the game of 12. Long with the near steal. White has it. Now defended by Patterson. Pushes her off. And 8 seconds to shoot for Keyshawn White. White mishandled the dribble. Long making it tough. Ball knocked away with 1 second to shoot, as Long knocked the ball away. So on the inbound will be White. And you better believe this thing's going to go for Essex. Somewhere near the paint. Essex catch as blocked by Mia Long, and a shot clock violation on Newberry. Well, it's easy to know when to go up when they've got to take the shot. And Mia Long giving us the Hercules sign, flexing her muscles to the bench by getting that block. She doesn't have many. That's just her second on the year. 25-13, Tusculum by 12. And the Pioneers with the ball. They'll lob it into the paint. This will be Duke going on Hall. Missed an easy one. Rebounded by Brandy Hall. As Essex gets the breather, they went right inside the paint. Duke coming off a 19-point, 17 rebound game Saturday against Wingate. One shy of her career best in scoring, her career best in rebound. Hall will get it into the hands of Lyons. Inside the paint, knocked away by Long, but saved by Hall. Here is Britton. She's going to travel for the 3rd time in the game, and she can't believe it. So the Pioneers force yet another turnover. That's the 11th, and they have 1 in the game. But Newberry does not put pressure full court. Tusculum leading 25-13. Right side pass is Patterson. Top of the key, Cupidon. In the paint is Duke. Going to work on Hall. This one is off the mark, no good as well. Rebounded by Newberry. Duke is labored in the paint. And the Pioneers have been really good defensively. Mia Long knocks the ball away from White out of play. She's unable to keep him in play. She has deflected several passes. And just a handler who is not protecting the basketball. White on the inbound to Hall. And an offensive foul on Brandy Hall, just pushing her body right into the chest of Kendrea Duke. And it's another turnover. It'll be the 12th as Meg Essex will come right back into the game. Again, the Pioneers haven't been able to sustain a whole lot of offense. They're 8 for 22 from the field, and half of their makes are from three-point territory. They've made 4 3-pointers. They're shooting 36% from the field, but are 5 of 6 at the free throw line early. Cupidon hands it off to Patterson. Patterson left open for 3. Bang. 5th three-pointer. As Newberry lost an assignment, the Pioneers lead by 15, 28-13, as Tusculum on a 12-0 run. Into the front court, Britton left open for 3. She'll bank this one in. Shelby Britton banks in a 3 from the left wing, but shoots 40% from downtown. 28-16, ending the 12-0 run by the Pioneers. Nia Long takes on Essex in the paint. Missed the shot, but gets her own miss. Kicks it out to Patterson. Cupidon from the top of the key, shoveling it off to Duke. Can't finish inside the paint once again. I think Duke is rushing her shot against Meg Essex. White running into the front court. Britton had it knocked away by Mia Long, and Devin Carter will come up with the catch out of play. We go to a break here from Pioneer Arena with Tusculum by 12. This break brought to you by Applebee's in Greenville. For her Pioneer career. She's now 80 points shy of reaching 1,000 for her collegiate career. She has 10 in the game with 5 rebounds, an assist, a block, and a steal, and has played every minute. Meg Essex leads all scorers with 11 points. She's 5 of 7 from the field with 3 rebounds in 11 minutes. Tusculum is shooting 36% from the field, 9 of 25, but they're 5 of 10 from 3 and 5 of 6 at the free throw line, where Newberry 6 of 14 from the field, 43%, and 2 of 7 from three-point territory. Kendrea Duke 1 for 7 in the game, just 2 points, but a couple of assists. And all her misses right there in close. And again, it's the Meg Essex effect, as I think Kendrea has kind of rushed that shot a little bit. Newberry with the basketball. This will be McCarty out of this timeout. McDermott skips it onto the right side, and into the contest has come Madison Golden for the first time. She handles it on the right side. 5 seconds to shoot for the Wolves. They'll throw over the top of the zone. A shot blocked by Yolisma Cupidon. Locklear with the loose ball. Cupidon ahead of the pack. Goes up on Essex. Puts it up and in. Fast break chance for the Pioneers. That's been rare today, but that's the 7th fast break, or the first fast break point for the Pioneers. Newberry had 5. Pioneers putting on pressure in the backcourt once again. Getting into the front court. Here's Golden on the pass. At the top of the key, into the game has come Sailor Whiteside. Left side three ball on the way by McCarty is good. Regan McCarty, team's third leading scorer, hits 37% from downtown. 30-19, Tusculum with the lead, as Newberry has hit their last two of their last three-point efforts. They try to throw it inside. The pass is too high for Duke, and it's stolen by McDermott. Essex down the lane, travels. The pass was something Essex was not quite ready for, and so she traveled on the way to the rim. 3:17 to play in this opening half, and the Pioneers lead 30-19. A Newberry team that a defensive-minded team, both very defensive-minded teams coming in. Newberry allows 67 points per game on the year. The Tusculum Pioneers allow just 57 per game. Long, dribbling into the paint, kicks it back out to Cupidon, attacks the paint, puts up the jumper. That's no good, and the rebound comes down to Newberry. Wolves with another rebound, as they have out-rebounded Tusculum 14-12. Whitesides to give it up. McDermott into the corner to Essex, defended by Locklear, who's shoved out of the way. Whitesides on the left wing. She'll penetrate, now kick it back out, and a whistle for a foul. How do they count that three? We're going to count the bucket. Duke is whistled for a foul. I think if you have a chance to go back and look at that one, you're going to realize that the shot was not up yet. They're going to count the three and then a foul on Duke. And so Newberry has the basketball. Here's McCarty, pull up from the elbow. This one rims off, no good, and the rebound is knocked out of bounds off of Whitesides, and the Pioneers will have it back. So a fortunate break for Tusculum, really, that Newberry didn't make it a 5-point trip. Couple of suspect calls. 2:25 to play here in this opening half. Mia Long drives it right into the paint around Essex, but Essex with that long reach gets a piece of the shot. It's blocked, and Newberry on a fast break. Whitesides will run it into the front court and nearly lose it out of play, but save it, and Newberry sets up in the half court. McCarty. Extra pass, three for McDermott, and she knocks it down. Here comes Newberry right back. Trailing by 12, or I should say by 15 in this game. Now it's a 5-point game. 30-25, Tusculum. And a whistle and a foul that's going to go on Whitesides. It's the third on Newberry here in this opening, or this second quarter. Here comes Patterson into the game for Locklear, who's just back after missing Saturday's game. Still not 100%. She just doesn't appear to be 100%. Long on the right wing. Newberry's turned it over 13 times. Tusculum just 2, but Newberry's down just 5. Newberry shooting 47% from the field. Tusculum 36%. Patterson attacks the paint, puts it up, missed the shot. Duke offensive rebound put back, and it's too strong and no good. Missed so many inside, and a whistle and a foul. It's going to go on Kendrea Duke, and that's number 3 on her. So 3 on Duke, and they didn't get her subbed out. Near steal, Mia Long forcing it, and a jump ball, and the arrow is going to favor, I believe, Tusculum. We don't have that up on the board. That's the case. A minute 19 to play here in this opening half. As Tusculum will have the ball, Duke will come out of the game with 1:19 on the clock. And the Pioneers have the ball leading by 5 on the alternate arrow. Mia Long forcing that jump ball situation for the Pioneers. So 10 of 30 for the game, and a bunch of misses in the paint for the Pioneers. And again, you have to consider it just the Meg Essex effect. Williams, with 1 minute to play in the half, gets it to Patterson. Drives in the paint, and a whistle for a foul that's going to go on Courtney Lyons of Newberry. Essex at 6'3", plays more like 7 feet tall to conference opposition. Just tough to get a shot up around her. Essex with 48, now make it 50 blocks on the year. Williams, Patterson in the corner on the baseline. And she's going to be blocked out of play by Lyons once again. And the Pioneers' Callie Patterson's going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. Just kind of threw her knee into Patterson trying to go on the baseline left side. Patterson will go to the strike. Made that game winner against Clayton State so long ago, it seems, November 15th. And hit 5 3-pointers against Queens. That was a career best. And then turned right around and did the exact same thing 3 days later at North Greenville. 18 of 36 from three-point range over the previous 5 games, but she went 0 for 7 against Livingston right after the start of the new year. So struggled there. But has really lit it up in league play. Making both free throws, Callie Patterson, averaging 11.2 per game, shoots 81% at the stripe, makes both, and it's a 7-point lead for the Pioneers. Once again, their lead had been 15. McDermott into the front court. A lot of pressure. Britton has it to McCarty. Ball fake from the three-point line. And this will be Essex handling the pressure so well. Gets rid of it to McDermott. And Jazz Williams got a piece of that shot. Here's Mia Long. Long will run it into the front court around traffic. Put it up, and it rims off no good. Another missed layup by the Pioneers. 20 seconds to play in the half. Britton into the front court. Britton has not had her A-type game, but that has to be the Mia Long effect. And now Long with the kick save and beauty with 7.8 on the clock, but so many missed shots in the and around the rim from within 3 to 4 feet. Again, the second game in 3 days for both of these teams. Inbound to McCarty is up and good. From the left block, put it up and in. Mia Long with 1 second. Patterson won't get off the shot, and the Pioneers will go to the locker room leading by 5. We are at the half, where the Tusculum Pioneers have led throughout, but leaking a little oil in that second quarter. Coming up, a conversation with Pioneer coach J.T. Burton. That's when we continue right here from Pioneer Arena right after this. It's Tusculum 32. It's Newberry 27 as you listen to Pioneer basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Jason was an ordinary man with an insatiable appetite until he got a call that changed everything.
Applebee's all you can eat is back with shrimp. This January, get ready to order. Starring riblets, tenders, and introducing shrimp.
are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County, you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
Applebee's All You Can Eat is here. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Jason was an ordinary man with an insatiable appetite until he got a call that changed everything. Applebee's All You Can Eat is back with shrimp. This January, get ready to order. Starring riblets, tenders, and introducing shrimp.
We're in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls.
It's Hometown Realty and Auction, Greenville Light and Power, and Wash Depot. And now, with the call, the voice of the Pioneer.
So 32-27 our score. The Pioneers with the lead as we get set to start the second half. Newberry will have the ball to start the second half, going left to right or Midge to Joyce as we view it. The Pioneers didn't shoot the ball well, but forced a bunch of turnovers. Newberry, when they were able to shoot, were pretty good. Starting five, both teams, McDermott, Britton, Campbell, Essex, and McCarty on the floor to start the second half for Newberry. McCarty with it on the top of the key. Here's Essex in the paint against this zone. Return, shoot, miss, and the rebound off the hand of Campbell into the hands of Cupidon. The Pioneers with it into the front court. Across the stripe, this will be Cupidon as Newberry sets up in a zone as well. Duke throws out of that to Cupidon. Attacks in the paint, gives it up to Duke. Missed it, got it back, and scored it and won. Kendrea Duke had a first half to forget about. And a foul that goes on Shelby Britton. Be her first and the team's first of the second half into the first 28 seconds of this second half. So Duke steps to the stripe for the Pioneers. Had a career-high 20 against Belmont Abbey to start the year, and then 19.17 rebounds Saturday. Making the three-point play, the Pioneers by 8. Newberry on the inbound, facing this pressure by the Pioneers. And again, it's that dribble forward, and then it's kind of a give and go. Person who had the ball dribbling forward gives it up and then just sprints. And this is that person who sprinted, McDermott, for a three. That one's no good, and the rebound comes down Cupidon. Pioneers sprinting into the front court with Mia Long. From the left wing, Long will throw it top of the key to Cupidon. Right side into the hands of Patterson. And Patterson had it knocked away by McDermott. Ball's on the floor. McDermott with the steal. Third turnover of the game for the Pioneers. Into the front court. Right side McCarty will fake a three. Drive to the baseline. Cut off by Duke. On the baseline is Campbell and hits the 15-footer. 8:45 to play in the third. And Tusculum leading 35-29. Long across the stripe in the front court for the Pioneers. Dribbles between the rings, looks over at her coach, and sets everybody up in this half court. Man-to-man by Newberry this side. Top of the key is Duke. Left side Patterson. Patterson 10 to shoot to Cupidon. Right side is Arnwine. Arnwine. Duke 5 to shoot. 4 to shoot. Long forced into a three. This one no good, and the rebound controlled by Meg Essex. Into the hands of Campbell. Now McCarty will sprint it into the front court for Newberry. Bounce it back to Campbell, to Britton on the right wing. Essex, defended by Duke, put it up, missed the shot. The rebound is loose. It's on the floor, and probably a jump ball will be. The Pioneers jumping on the floor to tie up the ball. Pioneers will get it back on the alternate arrow. Locklear will check into the game for Tusculum. So Pioneer basketball, they lead by 6 at 35-29. It was a three-point play to open the second half by Kendrea Duke. The Pioneers, incidentally, opened the game with a three-pointer. Long, inside, outside to Locklear. Locklear back to Long. She'll try a three. This one is no good, side of the rim. And maybe not the best of shots. Long says that was my bad. McDermott into the front court to Britton. Will pull up in the paint, knock it down. It's a 4-point game as Essex hits the floor. Appears to be okay as she gets up and sprints back to play D. 35-31. Newberry had trimmed it to 3 at 16-13. That's as close as they had been since they had tied the game at 4. Right side front court. Duke on the left wing. Now to Locklear at the top of the key. Here's Arnwine. Gets a screen for 3. That one is no good. Weak side rebound comes down to Mia Long. Pioneer basketball. Long in the paint. Kicks it back out to Arnwine. Arnwine driving to the right side. Gives it up to Duke and had the ball knocked off out of her possession and out of play off of Newberry. It was a good drive by Arnwine. Just a tough player. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 4 seconds, and the Pioneers just do get it in. Long will drive, had her shot blocked, but she saves it to Arnwine. Maybe she just lost it going up. My view obstructed. 10 seconds to shoot for the Pioneers. Locklear with the take, and she'll draw a block. Quick first step by Lovely Locklear. And the foul will be charged against Kelsey McDermott, her second. So, an inbound situation for the Pioneers. Fresh 30 seconds. And Locklear to inbound. Will lob it to Duke, defended by Essex. Duke will hand it off. Locklear from the top of the key. Gets a clear out on Arnwine. Crossover. Back up to Duke. Right side is Arnwine. 15 to shoot. Here's Cupidon. Shoveling it off inside for Duke. Goes up on Essex. Got a piece of that one. Goes up again. Finally gets the block. And will go to the free throw line as the foul came late on Kelsey McDermott. It was not Essex. She just stood her ground. So McDermott will pick up her third, team foul number 3. And so Kendrea Duke, Newberry is kind of locked in defensively here to start. It's been tough for the Pioneers to find any breathing room inside the paint. At the free throw line, Duke missing the first. She had the first double-double by way of points and rebounds this year for the Pioneers against Wingate Saturday with the 19 points and career-high 17 rebounds. And has gotten into foul trouble all year. Has picked up 4 personal fouls in 8 of 15 games this season, but has not fouled out of any of those yet. Well, had not fouled out any of those. And she has 3 today in the first half. She makes both free throws, and the Pioneers again lead by 5. After a tough first half for Duke, she has 5 here in the second half. Long pass into the front court. This is going to be Lyons, who's into the contest for Newberry. Britton gives it up to Courtney Lyons. Baseline jumper that's no good. Long rebound comes out to Arnwine. Arnwine will run it into the front court, give it up to Mia Long on the left wing. Campbell closing her off, and Long will throw it top of the key to Locklear, who will drive in on the paint and give it up to Long. Again, just not a lot of space for the Pioneer offense to operate, but Long finding Duke, put it up and in for 2. Kendrea Duke for 2 more. It's 38-31 Tusculum. They get into the press, which has been not as effective, although Newberry has turned it over 14 times in the game. And now Britton across the stripe. Skips it right side to Campbell. Top of the key is Britton. Left side Lyons. In the corner is an open McCarty for 3, and that one's good. You leave Regan McCarty open for 3. And Joanne Tincher wants a timeout, and we will take that as well. Back in a minute, 5:22 to play here in this third quarter. It's Tusculum 38 and Newberry 34. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
Got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Jason was an ordinary man with an insatiable appetite until he got a call that changed everything.
Applebee's all-you-can-eat is back with shrimp. This January, get ready to order. Starring riblets, tenders, and introducing shrimp.
Turnovers, offensive boards 8-1 in favor of Tusculum. Points off turnovers, Tusculum 17-2, and points in the paint 14-6. Yet it's a 4-point game. Newberry, who struggled in that first half early, in the first quarter, I should say, from 3 and from the field, starting the game 1 for 7, have been pretty good here of late, where they have gone 12 of their next 21 shots. It's 38-34. Lovely Locklear with the take into the paint, and that's another thing for Tusculum in not making layups. Another missed layup, although contested, still missed. 38-34. Newberry with the basketball. Keyshawn White has checked into the game. Here's Essex driving on Arnwine, who knocked it away from her, and Mia Long has the ball. Arnwine with that steal. Long into the front court to Arnwine. Back to Long. She fake a three, and then her indecision forces Tusculum into their 4th turnover of the game. That'll take us to another break here from Pioneer Arena. With 4:39 to play in the third, it's Tusculum 38, Newberry 34 with the ball when we come back after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Basketball with the voice of the Pioneer.
So Tusculum leading 38-34, but leaking some oil here offensively, shooting just 31% for the game, 12 of 39, and a bunch of misses in the paint. Even though they have the advantage of scoring in the paint, 14-6, it's a bit odd. Newberry basketball down 4. McCarty, White to Essex. Back into the hands of Keyshawn White. Left side to Britton. Britton gets a screen, then is cut off there. Little lob inside the paint, and the ball thrown out of bounds by Britton, who has not had her Shelby Britton-like game. Just 5 points in the contest. Couple of turnovers, which is very rare for her as well. And the Pioneers with the basketball back after the Newberry 15th turnover of the game. Mia Long on the penetration. Will kick it out. This will be Yolisma Cupidon. Cupidon from the top of the key to Arnwine. Arnwine. Back out. Williams, a three. This one no good. Cupidon tips the rebound, and it's tipped out by Arnwine, defending it on Britton. Jazz, who had started her Pioneer career hitting 4 of 11 from 3, went 4 of 9 in one game against LR this year. White had the ball knocked away by Cupidon. Pioneers have it. Mia Long will finish it at the rim and in. Hey, a layup. 40-34, and points in transition, which has been an oddity as well for the Pioneers. Britton into the front court. Gives it up to Keyshawn White. White for Newberry as they move left to right across your radio dial. Lions stopping into the paint. Spinning, McCarty, nowhere to go. Out to Essex for a three. This one rims off no good. And Williams, who is defending the three-point line, comes up with the rebound, but then it's tipped away from her and stolen by Newberry's White. Here's Britton. Bouncing it to Essex, waiting and shooting and scoring. And so a rare turnover by the Pioneers. And points off turnovers for Newberry. Matter of fact, their 4th point off a turnover on the Pioneers' 5th turnover of the game. Cupidon with the take into the lane. Off the glass and in. Hey, a little sustained offense by both teams. White will get it to Lyons. Crossover dribble into the front court. Long knocked it away, but right to McCarty. 2:40 on the clock in the third. Tusculum leads 42-36. Essex gets away with the shove in the paint. Good pass into the paint. And Tusculum will get a timeout here. And rare that Devin Carter did not take one in that first half, but have been holding on to them here in this second half. So 2:33 to play in the game. Coming up for the Pioneers, it's, like I mentioned, a tough stretch. Today being the second game in 3 days, as it is for Newberry as well. But for the Pioneers, they will be back on the road on Wednesday. We'll travel to Lincoln Memorial University to take on the Rail Splitters before closing out the month of January at home on Saturday the 26th to Catawba and Wednesday the 30th at home to Anderson. The Pioneers women have one non-conference game remaining, and that will be Hiwassee on Groundhog Day, February 2nd, and that will be a 2 p.m. start. That game was to start at 11, but somewhere along the lines we've changed that. Oh, no, pardon me, it is an 11:30 start on February 6th. Yeah, we play Newberry again February 2nd. That's that game. Mia Long in the lane. Puts up the runner. This one is no good. It's short. And again, like Wingate, we are missing a lot of layups off the side of the rim, and the Pioneers will force a tie-up situation against the freshman Campbell. Right out of that timeout, Kendrea Duke will be back into the game for the Pioneers. So Newberry with an inbound left side front court. Just can't miss the layups, although we had a surge in offensive production. We're 14 of 43 for the game, 33%. Campbell on the inbound will get it into Brandy Hall. Back to Campbell, watched by Arnwine. Mia Long, who's gone every second of this game. Watching Britton. Britton against Duke. Might have gotten away with the travel. And Mia Long's going to be whistled for a foul. That's a good eye by that official. 42-38. That foul spotted from right wing behind the three-point line to the left baseline. That's a good eye. On the inbound, this is going to be McDermott. And a traveling violation on McDermott. And isn't it funny how things just kind of work out in the end? It didn't work out too well for the New Orleans Saints, but this particular case it did. 42-38, Tusculum by 4. They've led by as many as 15, but Newberry quit turning it over and started making shots, and they're right back in it. Duke in the paint against the freshman Campbell, and Campbell will reach in on Duke. Just an observation, mind you. Campbell with her third. When Duke catches the ball, lots of times it will go down to her waist. When you see Williams and Cupp and Maddie Sutton catch it, that ball stays high as if they go right back up with it as well. Duke, who will go to the free throw line and shoot 2, is good with her one-handed free throw attempt on her first. And it has been a good second half for Kendrea Duke. 9 points for her now after a 2-point first quarter, where she is now 3 of 11 from the field. Second is good. 44-38 Tusculum. Newberry basketball facing the Pioneer pressure. Long pressuring Britton. Stopping, now throwing it into the front court on that left side. Done a good job against this pressure, and now they turn it over. Mia Long with the steal. Will drive it, shoot it, and go to the free throw line to shoot 2. A little wry smile from Mia Long because another missed layup attempt, albeit contested to the point of a foul by Golden. That'll put the Pioneers into the bonus the rest of the way. So they've done a good job playing without fouling here in this second half, where Newberry's been forced really into some fouls to protect the rim. Long, her line drive free throw rattles in good. Back comes Essex and McCarty as Hall and Golden get a breather. Long back to the free throw line, making the second. Jazz Williams back in with 1:28 to play here in the third. Duke will come out with those 3 personal fouls. Pressure by the Pioneers. They forced Newberry into a mistake their last time with just an errant pass as Mia Long came up with that steal. Newberry basketball in the front court. Long jumper that's no good. Rebounded weak side by Arnwine. Pioneer basketball. Long run into the front court. Locklear. Long will fake a 3. Drive into the paint. Lob it out to Arnwine. Baseline 3. Bang! Jayla Arnwine. A double-digit lead for the Pioneers again. McCarty up ahead, McDermott. McDermott, crossover dribble, baseline to Meg Essex. Oh, wow. She is a run killer. Meg Essex with a great 15-foot baseline jumper. Just great touch for the senior. Long will drive into the paint and get Essex clear from the paint, but miss a layup. And the rebound will go out of bounds off of Newberry. Another missed layup by the Pioneers. I don't have a layup miss tracker on me. But if I did, it would be a bunch. We'd have made some too. Locklear on the inbound to Arnwine. Arnwine. She'll drive it into the paint, give it up to Long, and maybe an offensive foul here. I didn't see. Arnwine is not happy, so it has to have been that way. She's in the restricted. I mean, she's well in the restricted. So that's got to be the conversation. Yeah, you got to change it to a block. She's in the restricted. That's a good call. And so Arnwine's going to go shoot two. The foul's going to go on Taylor Campbell. It's going to be her fourth. And so going to the stripe will be Jayla Arnwine. She had 12 points, career best against Queens. Matched that against Bluefield State and Livingston. Well, Livingstone. She's made now at least a three-pointer in 11 of the last 14 games. And just a person who is gritty, just worked her way into this starting five. Yes, there has been some injuries to Sid Wilson, but she was going to be a contributor all year anyway. Arnwine, part of those great Bearden Bulldog teams. And it was just kind of that intangible for them. Very similar for this Pioneer team. Arnwine made both free throws, and Mia Long, no, she won't come out. Maddie Sutton will be on the floor for the first time in the game, as Cupidon will get a breather for the first time. 18 seconds in the third. McDermott working against Locklear, and then Sutton gambling, coming up with a steal. And it'll only be the second foul against the Pioneers of this quarter. So they have them to burn, in other words. With the Pioneers leading 51-40. Newberry will inbound with 12 seconds to play in the third. Whitesides lobs it to Essex, throws it over Williams, mistimed the jump and scores. 5 seconds, Mia Long. Long, hesitation dribble, drives on Essex, hits the floor, no call, and that will end the third quarter of play. At the end of three, it's Tusculum 51 and Newberry 42. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
On November 20th, 2018.
Family.
Food's here!
Mount had the lead trimmed to 4 and a chance to get it to 2, but it never got there. The Pioneers lead and extend their lead from the half. It's now 51-42 in the third. Pioneers have shot 5 of 15. Newberry went 7 for 13, but had 5 more turnovers. 19 of the game for Newberry, where Tusculum has just 5. Newberry 16 assists, though, on 17 made shots. That's just impressive. This is not a stat game to look at. I mean, this should be a blowout game based on the turnover numbers, points off turnovers, and offensive rebounds, and all that stuff. Tusculum's going to turn it over, as I mentioned that, for the 6th time now in the game. Tusculum leading at 51-42. 14 from Mia Long. Essex has 19 to lead all scores for Newberry. Essex on Williams, got the block. Essex got it back, and Williams there with the block, but a foul this time. But Jazz just did not give in. Just the second foul on her. Again, 3 on Duke, who sits on the bench to start the 4th, who has had a resurgence here in this second half. Essex, in the month of December, was named the South Atlantic Conference and the National Player of the Week. He's just had some phenomenal games this year when Newberry had gotten off to an 8-0 start. As a matter of fact, they were 11-1. Essex makes both, and now Whitesides will be whistled for a foul on the inbound to Mia Long. (51-44) Pioneers. Long, right side to Cupidon. Down the lane, drives on McCarty, puts it up off the glass. That's Yolizma Cupidon's game. She can get to the rim. Here she comes on a double-team trap. Britton in the backcourt. Still in the backcourt. Whitesides. That's got to be a violation. It is. They did not possess it in the front court, and 10 seconds on Tusculum to give the ball back to the Pioneers as they force that 10-second violation. Now, in the 15 games played, 13 times this year, they have forced the opposition into 20 turnovers. They average 24 turnovers forced a game. Mia Long penetrates into the paint. Locklear on the right wing behind the three-point line will give it up. Have not seen Patterson since early in the third. And Locklear is going to take a drive, and she'll take a trip to the free throw line as she draws the foul. And this foul will go against McDermott, and that's number 4 on her, I believe. Where'd they get there? Yep. So Locklear goes to the stripe, missing the Wingate game due to flu-like symptoms, and just doesn't look 100% right out there right now. The energy, those types of things for her, but again, she's out there giving the energy. Got to give her some credit, not feeling 100%. And gets both free throws to fall. 55-44, Tusculum again by double digits. Britton in the backcourt, watched by Cupidon. Across the stripe on the dribble. Didn't come with the double-team trap. They want to throw it down low to Essex, but Williams has played her well, her and Duke, really. She doesn't have many looks in the paint. Most of her damage has come from 15 feet and out. Nice little give and go, but not ready for the pass was Lyons, and so it will be a steal. Tusculum with it into the front court, and Mia Long will run it across the stripe. Williams, right side, Arnwine a 3. Bang! Jayla Arnwine from downtown. And the Pioneers by 14. 8 minutes to play in the game. Britton on the back in the backcourt. Watched by Cupidon. Here comes the double team. Britton stays on the dribble, got away with steps, turns it over anyway. Williams with the steal. Locklear up ahead to Arnwine. Will lean into her defender, no call. Cupidon rebound. Her putback is no good. Newberry avoids disaster on the turnover, and into the front court will come Newberry. McCarty, Britton, lobbing it down low. Williams steps in front with another steal for the Pioneers. Another turnover on Newberry. And here comes Mia Long across the stripe. They have shot the ball. This is not a game to look at the stats. Long on the drive, missing, and the rebound out of bounds off of Mia Long. But another missed shot in close by the Pioneers. On that last possession a couple of times. Who didn't finish the fast break well. I think for Arnwine, if she had it to do it over again, she would have passed it back off to Locklear, who was cutting right to the rim. On the inbound, here's McCarty, and now Arnwine will be whistled for a foul. She looks around as if to say, what just happened? They got you for a foul. Second on the team. McCarty will exit for Newberry's. Back in will come Madison Golden. Inbound, this will be Courtney Lyons. White against Long. into the paint. Gives it up. Essex, good give. As Essex scores from the right side. Timeout asked for by Newberry, and that will take us to a timeout as well. Back to Pioneer Arena right after this. 7:04 to play in the game. Tusculum 58, Newberry 46. Pioneer basketball continues on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Applebee's All You Can Eat is here. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Sports Network. Pioneer basketball. Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
Tusculum leading 58-46. Jayla Arnwine leading the charge with a career best 15 for her, and she's 3 of 5 from 3 in the game. Mia Long with 14 points, 3 assists, and 4 more steals for the nation's steal leader. Kendrea Duke, a resurgence here in the second half, now with 10 points and 9 points for Yildiz McCupidon. Meanwhile, Meg Essex has 23. Regan McCarty has 11. The only 2 in double figures for Newberry. Long at the line. She'll draw a foul. Just can't finish at the rim as the personal foul goes against Madison Golden of Newberry. So Long to the stripe, where she's got 14.7 rebounds from Mia Long in the game. Rebounds are even at 26, but Tusculum has 10 offensive rebounds to Newberry's 2 in the game. Second chance points, though, Tusculum 8-2. Big difference there. Newberry has 23 turnovers. Tusculum has 28 points off those turnovers. And Mia Long misses both free throws. And it's just really a 12-point game. Those are blowout-type numbers, but it's a 12-point game. White in the front court for Newberry. On the dribble penetration. Hall to the top of the key. Courtney Lyons will dribble it into the paint, put it up off the glass, no good. Jazz Williams secures the rebound. Long will slow it down and take it into the front court. Long to Cupidon from the right side. Inside, outside, Williams a 3. That one rims off, no good. Rebound taken by White of Newberry. Into the front court is Britton. Will stop for a 3 in the fast break. That one's no good. Long tips the rebound right to Essex, who can't finish, and Williams with the rebound. Here comes Long, sprinting past Lyons into the front court, bouncing it off to Locklear at the rim and in. Lovely Locklear, and a great find by Mia Long. 60-46 Tusculum. 5:45 to play in the game. Britton across the line into the front court and dragging that pivot foot, lobbing it into the paint, was looking for Essex. The ball is on the floor. It's still loose. And we're going to get a jump ball, and not sure where the arrow is. Appears to stay with Newberry. It's not up here on this scoreboard. Bobby Milburn not with us today. He usually lights up everything up there. We do have Johnny Painter, though. His bowling team at Greenville High just went to the state tournament. Congratulations to them. We're going to come over and check the arrow. Our 30-second shot clock operator is having a conversation with the official about what needs to be done with what, where, when, and why, apparently. We're going to look at it. They need to put some time back on the shot clock because take some time off because possession did not change. apparently. So 5:31 to play, and they've got 29 seconds on the shot clock. The shot did hit the rim, but then after the scrum. The inbound, stolen by Duke, and she's going to be forced out of bounds, and a foul on Newberry, and this will go on Essex. And that's the other thing about Meg Essex. There are so many great things that she does. Yes, she scores and she rebounds and she moves and she's a matchup nightmare, but she plays without fouling. That is her first of the game, and she has done that throughout her entire Newberry career. Fourth foul on Newberry. Tusculum basketball leading by 14. Long will dribble into the paint, back out to Duke at the three-point line. So both Duke and Williams on the floor at the same time. Long, around her defender, up off the glass, and we got a layup that's made. Mia Long makes it a 16-point game, and it's the largest lead of the game, and Duke has hit the floor and has gone down on a phantom, just hit the floor, and I think she took a wrong step, and she is holding on to that right knee, and I think Newberry throws it away because Essex wasn't sure what happened when Duke went to the floor. I can't explain enough about what this would mean to this team if this is the case. We have seen this to start the year with KJ and Casey Johnson. Then Sydney Wilson, followed the very next game by Tori Patton. Timeout on the floor. 4:57 to play. Back right after this as you listen to Pioneer Basketball. It's Tusculum and Newberry on the Pioneer Sports Network.
2018, the town of
Jason was an ordinary man with an insatiable appetite until he got a call that changed everything. Applebee's all-you-can-eat is back with shrimp. This January, get ready to order. Starring riblets, tenders, and introducing shrimp.
On the Pioneer Sports Network, your home for Pioneer basketball with the voice of the Pioneers.
4:57 to play in the game. Duke cannot put any pressure on the right leg as she comes off the floor. What else can happen to this team? A bizarre play. Tusculum will have the ball after the turnover. Essex was wide open, but her attention was with Duke, who had hit the floor, and the ball came her way. Mia Long and Keyshawn White with a little extra shove there. And it'll be free throws for Mia Long, who will go to the free throw line, who did not appreciate the physicality by White, apparently. And will step to the line to shoot two. So the 5 position. It's a good thing we picked up Brittany Cup at the mid-season break, the Christmas break, the Southeast Missouri State transfer, who is just kind of still getting acclimated to the play. Her and Sutton will be called upon greatly. Long has missed her last 4 free throws. Tusculum leads it by 6. Mia with 16 in the game, or paint that 17. White will drive into the paint. She'll put it up on Mia Long, put it in. 62-48, 4.5 to play in the contest. The Pioneers are shooting free throws the rest of the way, but we have leaked some oil there. 5 misses for the game, and the last 4 by Mia Long. Cupidon a 3. Bang. Yolisma Cupidon in the corner from 3, and I'm not going to call that a dagger shot, but it doesn't do much for your confidence if you're Newberry with Cupidon knocking down the 3. White into the paint, had it knocked away by Long and out of bounds. And Newberry will inbound with 21 seconds to shoot. Game 2 coming up following our Game 1 coverage. And Pioneer coach Davin Carter. Tusculum and Newberry in men's basketball. White on the inbound for Newberry. Here's Britton. Britton on the left wing, dribbles away from a double team, into the paint, steps through, and the pass deflected out of bounds by Tusculum with 13 seconds to shoot. Britton, who's been called for 3 traveling violations, was dangerously close to her 4th right there. Under 4 to play. McDermott inside to Essex, spinning on Williams, who got the block, but they're going to get Williams with the foul. It's a good block by Williams, but that will be the 3rd on Jazz. And they continue to look at Duke. Will not return to this game. Essex to the stripe. Right at about her season averages with the exception of scoring. She has still 23 points in the game. 79% free throw shooter. And one more for Essex. I don't know what's going on. Some conversation. It's kind of an icing of Essex, who makes the second one. 24 for Essex. 9 rebounds for her. Averaging 9.9 boards a game. Arnwine into the front court. No need to rush a shot here. Mia Long will get the ball back from Arnwine, who's had a career game. Jayla with 15 in the contest. Cupidon on the right wing. Reversing back to the right side to Long. Long inside to White. Spins on Essex, and that quick turn put it up and in. Jazz Williams. 67-49 Tusculum. White into the front court. Shouldering off Arnwine. Lobbing it backdoor for McDermott. That's a good find. Cupidon knocked it away once and twice, and then apparently a foul as Cupidon was on the floor trying to knock the ball away. Williams is going to be whistled for this foul. I didn't see that. Williams picks up her 4th non-shooting foul, and Tusculum not yet giving Newberry the bonus. Ball knocked out of bounds by Tusculum's Arnwine, so Newberry will inbound once again as the ball goes rolling away. Tusculum allowing just 57 points a game on the year. They get it inside. McCarty puts this one up and in. Regan McCarty on the inbound. And a whistle for an infraction on the inbound. And the Pioneers will come to this end and shoot free throws. Keyshawn White will be whistled for the foul, and that will be her 4th. Pioneers will play the rest of the game without Kendrea Duke. They do have off as the ankle, so it's not the knee, which was heavily braced or just braced with the sleeve. They are looking at the ankle. Mia Long at the stripe, meanwhile, has missed 5 straight free throws. Pioneers today have missed 6 as a team and have been shooting well from the free throw line until now. And she got the roll on this one. Long playing with a little extra energy as Keyshawn White is going to turn this one over. Arnwine and Long forcing the turnover, and the Pioneers get the ball back on the 26th turnover of the game. Newberry with 26 turnovers. Tusculum has just 6. Pioneers have 30 points off the previous 25 turnovers. On the inbound, this will be Mia Long. Under 3 to play in the game. Tusculum leading 68-51. As Cupidon down the lane. Essex with the block and should have let that one go, but the Pioneers tried to save it. And then Jazz Williams is going to be whistled for. No, it'll be Arnwine whistled for a foul. Holy cow. Wow. Arnwine picks up her 2nd. Newberry, who had won 8 of the last 9 against Tusculum. Tusculum winning last year here at home, 72-65. And then the return trip was Newberry winning 68-52. So the 48th meeting here tonight. And Newberry making some mass substitutions with 2:40 to play. Maybe some defense. Julie Kennard is in, a redshirt freshman out of Prosperity, South Carolina. As at the line, Kelsey McDermott missing the first and making the second. Pioneer ball. And Mia Long with it in the backcourt. Sailor Whitesides defends her. And across the stripe, Long across that line with the possession. Long nearly runs into Williams, trying to set a screen for her. And then Locklear is going to be just going to turn it over, travel. So Campbell back into the game for Newberry. Some offense back in. And a timeout's going to be asked for by the Pioneers just to get some things right. So the 48th meeting between these teams, Tusculum with a 24-23 lead on time and a 13-8 edge here at home, appear to be on their way to their 25th win in the series and their 14th win here at Pioneer Arena. The only difference is that Tusculum had a 3-2 edge in the South Atlantic Conference tournament, but their last win against Newberry in the tournament was 2011, and that was when they were still playing them in Hickory. Pioneers have only been to Furman University once in the Final Four, which is where they host the South Atlantic Conference Final Four now. So we'll see if they may have that opportunity to meet. Both teams right around each other in the league, identical 11-4 marks. And now Mia Long goes down, and she hits the floor hard as she knocked the ball away, and Cupidon puts up the turnover, and Long will get up slowly, clutching that elbow. We just can't have anybody else get hurt. Long says, I'm okay. We didn't stop play until after Cupidon scored. I wasn't even concerned about the bucket. We made a layup, by the way. I wasn't concerned about that. I was more concerned about Long laying face first at middle of the floor. She appears to be fine. 70-52 Tusculum, and a whistle for a foul. It's going to send Kennard to the free throw line, shooting 2 free throws as Mia Long will pick up the foul here. She's played every second of the game. Pioneers have forced 27 turnovers, 32 points off those turnovers. Kennard at the stripe is good. Meg Essex has 24 points, 10 of 17 from the field, double-double for her. It should take her average on the year to 10 rebounds per game. So she'll average the double-double now, as Kennard made both free throws. McCarty with 13, but no help from Shelby Britton today. Normally 17 points per game, Shelby Britton. Meanwhile, the Pioneers get a career best out of Jayla Arnwine of 15. Cupidon with 12, Kendrea Duke 10 before she left what appears to be an ankle injury, with that ankle wrapped up quite heavily. 8 to shoot for Arnwine. Here's Williams to Long. Long down the lane, splits a double team, off the glass and in. Mia Long has 19. Pioneers again by 18. 90 seconds to play. And Tusculum, who pressed the entire game, will now get some reserves into the game for the first time. We'll see Marta Rodriguez, who will check in. Maddie Sutton, Maya Belton, Brittany Cupp on the floor. And Locklear will come out. Arnwine will stay out as the 4 new faces on the floor. And that's it. That's the bench for this Pioneer team. So Devin Carter went a very short bench much of this game, but it's going to pay off. 3 ball on the way here. That's no good. Missed by Brandy Hall. Rebounded by Arnwine, who comes up lane. It appears to be a back issue for Arnwine. It is. She says, oh, no, it's my butt. She's tiptoeing around. She's like, doing the toddler pee-pee dance. It's like my son when he was 7. He had to hold it going down the hall. Arnwine's going to go out of the game where I'm going to lose my mind the rest of this one. Marta Rodriguez, meanwhile, during all of that, makes a couple of free throws. 1 of 2. 73-54, Tusculum by 19. A nice drive, but a miss by Kennard, and an outlet feed to Locklear, who mishandles the dribble, and will turn it over. Again, Locklear, who missed Saturday with flu-like symptoms. I'm not sure she's 100%, but, man, she was great to have back today. Locklear with 4 points, and they were key. Kennard into the front court. Georgia Elliott King into the game. Maya Belton with the near steal, but went out of bounds. Also into the game will be Dragana Petrovska will check in. (73-54) Tusculum, 52 seconds to play. And Locklear comes out to defend on a King who was attempting a three, jumped into the air, and then came down with the ball. That's frowned upon in the basketball world. On the inbound is Marta Rodriguez. Bouncing it up ahead to Sutton. Back to Rodriguez with 40 seconds to play. What an effort today by this Pioneer team. Never trailed. We were tied at 4, but led wire to wire. Locklear between the rings in the front court. They get 19 out of Long, career best 15 out of Arnwine. Locklear, drive, no. Belton will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Locklear goes down to do a push-up because she considered a missed layup, but it's okay. Just part of the number in this game of a bunch of missed shots for the Pioneers. Maya Belton missing the first free throw. Has scored at least a field goal in 8 of the 10 games that she's played. The freshman out of Blythewood, South Carolina. Does make the second free throw. And the Pioneers by 20. Double-digit wins, not very often for Tusculum. You have to go back to that 2011 South Atlantic Conference Tournament game in Hickory before the Pioneers had a double-digit win against Newberry. They won that particular year 61-45. And then a foul as Marta Rodriguez is going to go to the free throw line coming up here in just a moment. Tusculum did win 2011 here at home 71-57. There just haven't been blowout wins in this series. I mean, you have to go all the way back early in the series when neither team was really good. But 2003, they started gaining some traction, they being Tusculum. And the Pioneers' biggest win of the series, 84-59 that year. Newberry started gaining some traction, winning 4 of 5 and 7 of 9. Here they've won 8 of 9, and the Pioneers are looking for their second win in the last 3 games. It's Pioneer basketball. At least that's what the official determined. But usually you just go based on the body language of everybody else. And if the Pioneers believe they hit it out last, they were going back to play defense. Even though the official said it was Tusculum ball, Tusculum didn't believe that he said it was Tusculum ball. But the Pioneers are going to have it with 10 seconds to play. Leading 75-54. And Marta Rodriguez likely just going to dribble this one out. So the Pioneers will keep Newberry in their quagmire, where they have dropped now 4 consecutive games and 5 of the last 8 games. After opening the year 11-1, they now fall to 11-5, and they go to 5-4 in the league, even with the Pioneers, who go to 12-4 on the year. Pioneers get the win as they knock off the Newberry Wolves, their largest victory against Newberry since 2011. Pioneer coach Devin Carter joins us right after this. Your final, Tusculum 75, Newberry 54. Pioneer basketball here continues on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network has been brought to you by
Greenville Federal Bank.